She just wanna work and pay her bills. Fuck up on a man, keep it real. That's right. She just want her girls to know the deal. They do. She just told her boss just how she feel. Fuck you. She just hit the club up on a Thursday. Told the bartender I ain't feeling thirsty. Took a couple shots just like it's her birthday. Hit the tree.
Yeah. What's good, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of We Don't Sip Tea, We Drink Wine. I'm your girl, Miss JLH. And this is another dope-ass episode. Today, I'm speaking to political analyst Saj from Philly. Okay, Philly in the building. What's good? I love Philly. I mean, let's not say love. That's strong.
You know, that is strong because
I like Philly immensely.
I'm from Philly and I don't love it.
I like it immensely. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm from Baltimore, so it reminds me a lot of Baltimore, but a little bit more ratchet than us, shall I add?
Yeah. Nah, I think we're neck and neck. I think we're neck and neck.
Y'all can say that, but I really don't believe it. I do believe that we have a little bit more je ne sais quoi than y'all do, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying, back in the day, those vans and buses used to come from Baltimore to Philly.
I stand by what I said. We're adventurous at heart, but I still stand by what I said. I don't know. It's like every person, like literally every nationality in Philly is a hood rat. That's one of my unpopular opinions.
Yep.
That's my unpopular opinion.
It depends on what part of the city.
It doesn't matter.
Yo, you know.
It don't even matter if it's not the city. Y'all are ghetto.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I have to defend my city.
I said I like it immensely. I'm just calling it as I see it, though.
Hey, look.
But it's a good time.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, the food here is good.
Food is banging. I haven't had a cheesesteak outside of Philly since Philly. Yeah. So only please.
You should definitely come and get one.
Absolutely, definitely. So, all right, enough about Philly. Let's introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are, what you about. We already know you from Philly, or are you from Philly? Are you posing, screaming?
I am from Philly. I am from Philly. the real North Philly with an F.
Right. All right, introduce yourself to the people.
So I am a political science major. I am a leader of a nonprofit organization here in Philly, actually in Southwest Philadelphia. Some people have heard of it, Concrete Cowboys of Bartram's Garden. We do a lot of community work, youth development, and I am an advocate for social justice and youth development.
Whoa, that's what's up. I love it. So let's get into it for real, because I really wanted to talk to you about what we have coming up with this next administration. Really what we can expect from this next administration. You said that you've been just following a lot of the things. I know I have not. I really have disconnected from everything since the election, to be honest. So I just wanted to keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you've been following still and what you've been, but can you catch us up to what, let's start with the election for real. What happened? Mm-hmm. Where did we go wrong?
The ghetto. So the answer really is that Trump promised a lot of change. Like a lot of people were, not feeling Joe Biden. So he promised a lot of changes. Everybody wants change. Obama ran on change. Um, he ran on economic concerns. Um, Groceries are high. The cost of living is high all across the board. He had an incredible media strategy. And to keep it real, he's been campaigning for 8-9 years straight. He never stopped campaigning.
Sure.
So there's that. And then he ran as a populist. He ran talking to the working class people, all over the country. That's who he reached out to and got the support of. But we know that also what went on in reality is racism, sexism, bigotry, all of the isms, and our lack of education really shine through all of that. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of people, everybody's playing a blame game. Kamala Harris didn't win. It wasn't black men. It wasn't, Latinos or anything like that. Like, in reality, like 60% of the country is white. If you want to count the Hispanic people who also identify as white, 75% of the country is white. In reality, white men are the determining factor. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the reality.
Yeah.
So, and with that, all of the promises that he made, like no tax on tips and no tax on social security and capping credit card interest at 10%, like those are the things that really played a part. And the people who were actually like, saying his policies, those are the real reasons.
Yeah. So even during his campaign, he was saying stuff like, why didn't Kamala do this during her 4 years while she was in office? You know what I'm saying? But why didn't
Yeah.
he do certain things that he could have done during his 4 years? I don't feel like, why wasn't that
Mm-hmm.
challenged more? Also, I felt like, why wasn't it challenged the
Mm-hmm.
things that the Biden administration did do? Because they did do a lot of things that they said that they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not in the way that we would have
They did.
liked, but yeah.
I think it was more so they didn't do a good job at telling us what they did. Like they got a lot done, but like for example, when Trump did anything or took credit for something that got done, he plastered it everywhere. He wouldn't stop talking about it. Like we just got like maybe like in the past, like since Kamala started running, like that's when we really started hearing about the cap on the insulin prices and things like that. Like they didn't advertise that to us, you know?
To be fair, as someone who has studied political history, you ain't supposed to be doing
Mm-hmm.
that anyway. Like, that's technically like government shit is government shit. It's not too many times that the people are really let in on what the government is doing. Fair
Yeah.
to say?
Like, I mean, yeah and no, because at the same time, you want your voters to know, like, I'm actually doing something. But like the way that he brags about these things, like he brags about them before they even get done. Like,
Right. And typically in the past for
mm-hmm.
presidents, it's something that you talk about. Like that's what ramps up your campaign. You do talk about, especially if
Right.
you're running for your second term, you know what I'm saying? You will talk about
Mm-hmm.
the things that your administration accomplished. But typically you're not talking about that during your term or anything like that unless you're
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah. Like Trump is unconventional. Like, We can't really. Again, he before his first term, he had zero political experience, so we can't even like expect the same decorum from him.
I feel that, but then I feel like we're holding an expectation to the Democratic Party that is unheard of within our
Mhm.
political realm. You know what I'm saying? Like typically, if we do
Right.
hear about something that our government doing, it would typically be like a big bill. You know, we heard about Obamacare. You know, that was
Hmm.
a big bill.
Hmm.
Healthcare is huge, so we would hear about that. But
Hmm.
your little things that are going on, you're not going to hear about typically all the time. But you're
Yeah.
saying, Trump
Yeah.
is like the
But
opposite of that.
what I'm he's the opposite. So like again, like when it comes to Trump, whatever you do to the left of him, you have to give like equal. Like yeah, like the Democrats like to have the moral high ground.
Yeah.
And honestly, screw that when you're dealing with Trump. Like you can't play. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you
Yeah.
can't really. It's different now. He's changed. He's changed how all these things will go on in the future.
And honestly, that's the most scariest part of it all. As people say, well, it's we just have to get through another 4 years. No, we have to get through the next lifetime, technically, because now he's set the precedent for the Republican Party. You have to go big or go
Hmm.
home, it seems like, when it comes to elections, when it comes to the way
Hmm.
you talk in your elections, how you run your mouth. It seems like hate and bigotry really ran his campaign. So now is that
Hmm.
what we can expect from the Republican Party moving forward?
Um, honestly, yes, because like those type of people, like they don't just change overnight. And with all of the people that he will be installing, all of the people that he has and will empower, like we can expect to deal with this probably the rest of our lives.
I'm just wondering when the Republican Party is going to revert back to being like overt racist rather than like, loud and
Yeah,
proud.
I think a lot of them are like, I don't know what's that little scrawny little white guy that has that show. He like after Roe v. Wade was overturned, he like got on the internet and was like, "Yeah, your body's my choice" or something like that. Like I feel like that if like for some reason like because we know that they want to roll back like civil rights progress and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I feel like then that would be what empowers them to go back to the overt racism. Just like with when they dealt with affirmative action, that empowered them to like be more open with what they really felt about
Yeah.
it. They're using DEI in itself as like a synonym for black
Yeah.
or anybody brown or anybody
Right.
non-white
Right. Right. So
or anybody not male.
facts.
So
Before we get into his policies and things like that, and what we could look out for, and just like how we should prepare ourselves as the Black community as a whole, um,
mhm.
I did want to see what your thoughts were about the Biden administration. Like, how did you feel about them?
um I felt like the Biden administration was very safe,
Mm,
like in their like they tried to do things safe until the things that really shined, they couldn't like avoid it if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like they played it really safe and quiet until the conflict in uh Palestine
Until
and
the shit hit the fan.
the war. Exactly. Like once they couldn't like just not play it safe, that's when like we were like, ew. But that like I really don't have much of more of an opinion of like it, like the Biden administration was like a person with no personality.
I'm screaming.
Like, and then we didn't get any personality until Kamala Harris at the end, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Oh,
like those are yeah, that's how I feel about them. Like
yeah.
there's so many critiques to
I
make
had a
of their
really
administration.
awesome political history president. I mean, teacher in
Hmm.
college. And I just would love to talk to him to see what he would call this administration because in that
Hmm.
class we went through every president and talked about what each president pretty much stood for. So I would just really like to
Hmm.
get an idea of like his thoughts of the last three administrations, to be honest, because I mean they are very
Hmm.
different from each other. I don't
Yeah.
think any of us who voted for Biden expected him to be like Obama, or we expected an Obama
Hmm.
administration. I think we all just wanted Trump
Hmm.
out. I think what
Yes.
we all also failed to realize is that regardless of, all right, let's get into his policies because really that's a part of it. Let's talk inflation because like and corporate
Hmm.
tax cuts and deregulation and shit like that. Like what's going to happen?
So off the bat, his top promises like and we the policies that we know about, like fortunately or unfortunately, they gave us Project 2025 and we had about a year and a half to really analyze and hear expert commentary on the document. So if you have paid any attention to any of that, you know that we could expect like policies that are going to be nothing less than an attempt to undo every stride we've made as a nation. The policy agendas like literally threaten the reverse progress in education, civil rights, healthcare, social justice. So we can expect the corporate tax cuts and deregulations. We could expect the tax on education, rollbacks on healthcare access, reproductive rights, stricter immigration policies, and cuts to things like food stamps, welfare, all of those things, you know?
Now, majority of the people on welfare is not even us.
Exactly. Exactly. But here's the thing though. The ones the white people on welfare, they think that when they voted to take these away, it would take it away from black people, not them.
Gotcha.
Like that's their
Yeah.
impression. Like they literally think that like it doesn't apply to them. It only applies to everyone
Yeah.
else and they'll get to keep what they have because they're white.
Love that for them. Love the delusion for them.
Right. It was such a privilege to even be able to think that way.
Right?
It's crazy. It's
So
crazy.
let's talk inflation because people really think that,
Hmm.
presidents affect or affect um,
Hmm.
inflation.
So not that like not directly. Like the
Right.
president can't just be like, "Oh, lower the price of eggs." Like lower those prices. Like that's not how it works.
However, that's how Trump is coming in saying that he's going to do it.
Right. And then he actually just backtracked that not too long ago, and he was like, the prices are up. It's hard to get them down. Yeah, like literally, like he's admitted it because like once it's up like that, like how do you just go around and say, "Hey, lower your prices," but also support and make policies that support these big corporations who are raising their prices. Like you can't do both. Like he can't be in support of the billionaires at the same time try to lower the cost of food and the things that we use every day. It's not reality. Like he literally can't. So
Jeez. So let's talk like important areas that we as Black people should like really focus on for this administration. What should we really pay attention to?
um we should really, Kamala Harris has said it, focus on coalition building. All of these different groups, we all got to come together to like get information out there. Um, we have to economically, we need to support each other, support Black businesses. Um, we need to get more involved locally because a lot of the things that may come like from come in through this administration, we could kind of mitigate some of the impact locally.
Oh,
Um,
really? Like for some examples, especially for your area, like what things are you guys working on in your area to combat this administration?
so just like so locally, it affects it affects you way more. Everything that local government can do, um, like I want to say in Philadelphia right now, because like it's so much going on. Like people are like low key panicking,
Mm,
but
that's
um
crazy. It's like
we
every
have things
city's like
like,
that right now.
yeah, like we have like things like what are they called? I'm getting like a brain fart right
Sorry.
now. um I'm literally getting a brain fart. Like we have like the what are they called? It's like I literally just, it's like the pantry services for
Okay,
food.
food pantries and yeah.
Yeah, but they like help you, like they give you like
Okay.
groceries. um what else do we have going on? Like I know we have a lot going on with like city council
Okay.
and stuff like that, stuff for the school. I know the budgets just came out. um so what we could really do to combat like all of these policies is vote in our local elections, because that's going to affect education, the school districts, school board. Um, what else? I'm trying to think. I'm really getting a brain fart here.
Now, should people get more involved in the schools with these
Oh,
education
absolutely.
policies coming out? Like, how can kids, how affected are our kids going to be?
So generally, so if what he has said does happen about basically dismantling the Department of Education, um, we can expect to see uh, a lot of public schools lose funding. Um, you know that a lot of the supplemented money comes from the federal government. So there'll be more money going to private and charter schools.
Wow.
Um, yeah, yeah, literally. And, with private and charter schools, the curriculum is, you know, they have to stay on a certain curriculum to receive certain monies. Um, so that's really, you
Yeah.
know, that's something to consider.
So, does that mean we can look forward to our kids, not having schools? A lot of our schools closing, and then where do they go?
Right. They'll just be, if they do stay open, they'll be underfunded. There won't be money for special education.
Wow.
Um, there won't be any, you know, we think we have old textbooks and stuff now, so
Wow. Wow. It's
yeah.
about to look real 1925 in this bitch.
But that's the whole thing though. They want to take it back, so I mean, so,
Oh,
and these things, like especially the education, like it affects black and low income areas the most. um Literally, like, we rely so heavily on federal funding, it's ridiculous. Like, and then on top of that too, with them, the rollbacks on funding for education, um those institutions that do continue to get funding, they won't be able to continue with their DEI initiatives, because he's already threatened that. He said, literally, like, if you teach CRT or have DEI initiatives set up, you're not going to get funding.
let's talk about let, let's talk about some foreign policies. This is why I disconnected myself, bro, because I'm like really stressed. Like I'm really stressed.
I know
I'm
it is
really stressed.
stressful, like,
Because
but
I
it's
knew
honestly
all of
like,
this was coming. I've been
yeah,
reading and watching and knowing. I actually know all of this that you're saying. I just kind of turned it off and
yeah,
tried to forget about it.
yo, but you listen, like, it's absolutely, like, it's stressful, but it's really not the time to panic though, because like we really just have to
I
prepare,
feel
like,
you. I've been
you
my
know.
plan is to get involved this year. I definitely want to volunteer this
Hmm.
year. I'm looking for I'm looking to either volunteer at the library or, and I know I didn't say that
Hmm.
properly, for all the grammar people out there. But but yeah, I'm looking to volunteer there or volunteer with the literacy coalition in my city. So I felt like that was, yeah,
Nice.
the Black Literacy Coalition. I feel like that's
Hmm.
something that reading I'm really passionate about. Outside of that,
Hmm.
I definitely just want to get involved. I think it's super important.
Yeah.
My friends used to call me the volunteer queen because I used to volunteer all the time. So I definitely miss getting involved in my
That's what's up.
community and giving back. It's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, that's like literally like the number one thing that we can do, like, is focus on our communities.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. I totally agree. Let's talk about these funky foreign porn. Cause it's a pouring hot mess. Um,
Hey, yo, right.
let's talk about these funky ass foreign policies. Cause you know what?
So,
He's literally like the worst president in the world, bro. Like I've
yo,
never seen and it disgusts me how much this country still like it's like nothing bothers them about it because like even Bush,
Mhm,
I didn't even like Bush and I was young when Bush was president, of course. But looking back
mhm,
at the history of our presidents, even Bush wasn't as bad as Trump. Like he's just really bad. And he's not a
yeah,
good foreign president. Like to carry out foreign relations, he doesn't have it. I
mhm.
think he's one of the worst.
I agree.
Worse than
I
Bush.
agree.
And he wasn't even great.
I agree. 100%. I agree, and that's why we can expect crack. We can literally expect just that from him. Like, but seriously though, we can literally expect like all of his foreign policies to be transactional.
Because what people fail to realize, and here's what I paid attention to, bro. He was getting money. His campaign was getting money. All right. They already
Mm-hmm.
discovered that. His campaign was getting
Mm-hmm.
money from foreign countries. Okay. They've already found
Mm-hmm.
that out. That is a fact. Look it up,
Yeah.
people. So he was getting money. Now, what countries I really don't remember. Do your research because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
here to do that for you. But he was definitely getting money from foreign countries. Okay, that's number one. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, he was too friendly with countries we don't even fuck with like that. How you over here getting cool
Exactly.
with China and Russia? Our number one enemies, bro. And not that we don't be trying to chill with them because we do a little kiki ha ha, but it's not that cutesy. And he was
Right.
over there like in their jacuzzis
Right.
having
And
sleepovers.
exactly. Exactly. Like,
Isn't
and
that
we can expect more of that.
yeah? And
We can expect.
I guarantee, and for me, the whole Russia and Ukraine war really started with Trump. And I don't see how everyone else doesn't see that. His relationship with Putin literally gave him the go ahead to do what he did in Ukraine. I don't feel like,
Hmm. It definitely empowered them.
yeah. And then it was really disgusting watching him debate with Kamala and literally say, like, I gotta stop saying that word because I realize I say it too much. But but it was,
Oh, what? Literally?
yes, it was.
Me too. I gotta
Mm,
stop. I've been
me too.
trying.
It's disgusting. I sound like
Yo.
one of them teenage white girls. Like, girl, shut up.
Literally. I think we got it from the Kardashians.
Something, and it's nasty. It's
Right.
nasty. I don't like it. But I watched him during the debate with Kamala, and it was just disgusting
Mhm.
how he really had nothing to say about his ideas of what he could do for Ukraine. Like, I'm just gonna talk to
Mhm.
them. I'm just gonna talk with him. Like, and say what? That's
Yeah.
what we try to get to. And then the
Exactly.
concept of a plan for healthcare that killed me.
Don't stress me out more. Like,
I've never wanted to throw something
uh
so hard at a TV because I was like, y'all playing in our face.
yo.
Y'all
Yeah,
playing in our face.
legit. And so we can expect that. Like, we now know his behaviors. So we can expect more unconventional direct negotiations with our adversaries. Like, literally, like, we can there I go again, literally. But like previously, we seen him go and talk to Putin. He's talked to Kim Jong Un. And let's be realistic, like, it's unconventional because we usually leave that up to the experienced diplomats to build those relationships, and, like,
Agree.
they know how to talk to these people, they're culturally aware. When he does it, the outcome is, and always will, really be unpredictable. Like, we don't know who he'll offend. We don't know all the time what all they're talking about. So
I watched the
I don't
document.
like
I
it.
don't either because I watched the documentary like a while back that said that Trump really just looks up to Kim Jong Un and like how he operates, and he looks up to like certain uh, foreign leaders that have that type of rule where they have kind of like a communist country and just people just do as they say. He just kind of wants it to be like,
Mhm.
oh, if you speak out against me, you're going down type of vibe. And he's even kind of made that
Yeah.
clear. Like once he gets back in the White House, there's certain things that he's going to do to certain people who just pretty
Mhm.
much was against him. So I mean,
Mhm.
what do you think that says for him as a leader? Do you feel like his aspirations? I mean, this is his last term, right? You don't get no more. That's it.
Right. We can talk about
However,
that too.
this nigga is crazy. So
Yes.
who's to say he's not going to try to like do something on a executive level to extend his term?
So we, because of who we know he looks up to, he likes the idea of authoritarian government. We know that. As far as like trying to go for a third term, it it would, I think that the civil unrest would be so great if he went the lengths that he need to go to really do a third term. Because so first off, the 22nd Amendment says that you can only do the 2 terms. It's in the
Right,
Constitution,
right,
right? So in order to change it, it will require an amendment to the
right,
Constitution, and Article 5 of the Constitution outlines that process. And realistically, Trump does not have 2/3 of the House and the Senate
right.
to even propose the amendment. Okay, and
At
then
all, you don't think?
2/3 of
Because
the,
I
nah, he doesn't
thought
have
the
2/3.
House
He
was
has,
more majority Republican this time.
it is, but it's not two
Okay,
thirds.
okay.
So it has to be 2/3. Like, no, that's
Yeah,
if
no, I
we're
remember.
following the
I remember.
Constitution,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm here with you.
So, so, and then, and was it 1798? The Supreme Court said that presidents have no formal constitutional role in that
Right.
process of making amendments. So,
Yeah, it's just the states who
if
can do that.
if so if he were to try to go for a third term, he would have to like
House
use
of
the
Cards.
military
I'm
against us, which
screaming.
he also can't do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he would have to go to like some extreme
Give me House
measures.
of Cards.
I never seen
Oh,
that.
you have. I'm not gonna say watch it because Kevin Spacey is a little, yeah, that whole situation.
Look,
But
uh,
I mean, I don't know if you want to watch it. Separate the art from the artist.
I I'm not good at
Me
that.
neither.
Immediately, once I know what you've done, like everything, like you're ugly, you stink, everything you've done is trash.
Same. I'm the same way. But
Like,
people ain't shit out here, so.
yeah.
But no, I'm the same.
Mm,
But this is crazy. In
yeah.
House of Cards, that Kevin Spacey's character, he wasn't president. He was only
Hmm.
working in the House, but
Hmm.
he did so much foul shit to
Hmm.
work his way up to be president. Like he manipulated people. He set people up. It was
Mm.
killed people. I mean,
Dang.
it was crazy, but he did all of that and became president and did what he could to stay president. And it was
Mm.
wild though, yeah. But that's what it's giving me. Very
Yeah.
much Kevin Spacey,
I
but
might
not
have
as
to like just
smart.
search clips of it so I don't have to watch like
I'm screaming.
and see what exactly he did. What did he do? So we know not to let Trump.
It would be a good show to watch, but Kevin Spacey's character seemed a little bit more intelligent. Not to mention his wife behind him was a
Mm,
genius. It was
okay.
really the people behind him. Of course, as
Mhm.
always with white men, the people behind you are a little bit better than you, screaming. But with Donald Trump, that is going to be the same thing as well. He's not
Mhm.
smart enough to move the way Kevin Spacey moves.
Mm.
Eventually, this term, I don't know how long this term is going to last, to be real with you, but I do not see Donald Trump getting away with all that he's been able to get away with for too long.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know when, but
The
I don't
scary
know.
part is that it doesn't even have to be Donald Trump himself. It can be anybody in politics that supports him, any MAGA Republican. Like, they're going to try and continue his legacy no matter what.
It's an unfortunate truth. So
Yeah.
outside of that, what other advice do you think you can give us? And then what can we do? Like what can your people do in Philly? Like how can they get involved if you want to shout out some things that you're doing and stuff?
Okay. We can organize.
Like you
We can
say, yeah.
yeah, we can organize, we can educate, um we can support different black owned platforms, um we can build and utilize community safety nets, like the food banks and things like that. We can work on strengthening our financial literacy. There's tons of resources. I could send you like a page of some sites and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things is, of course, getting involved with local government. That's literally like my number one. Like, you don't have to run for office, but like at least show up to the school board meetings, show up to city council hearings, um, uh,
Why is
support
that so important?
what showing up to those meetings and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Ah man, because you get to talk. You get to talk there. You get to voice your opinion. You get to hold your representatives accountable. Um, and you get to know all of the things that the people that you vote for really stand for. So if you don't like it, you could vote them out the next time. We see that right now in Philadelphia with they were trying to build a stadium on Market Street for the Sixers,
Hmm.
and 17 of our city council people voted in favor of it, despite their constituents all did not want that. Like, that is not something that we wanted. And now we know who to vote out, you
Got you.
know?
Yeah.
Like, literally, you can go on YouTube and search your city's city council or town hall meetings, anything, and they usually like stream it live. So,
Okay.
you know, literally, you can just literally like Google most of this stuff, like, you know. Um, so, those are some of the things like in Philadelphia. Um, we have an issue with the youth right now. Um, they're running wild, so a lot of the things that we could do is take care of the youth, um, make sure we educate them, make sure that we support them, you know. um,
Yeah, mentors. I know the Big
mhm,
Brother Big Sister program really needed black males heavily when I was
mhm.
volunteering for them. So I know a lot
Yeah,
of black men don't volunteer a lot. So
yeah, and but then there's a lot that don't, but there are a lot that do. So,
do. Yeah.
right, like, so in Southwest, with the nonprofit that I work for, um we have a lot of young men volunteers. We teach kids how to ride horses, right? So on the outside,
Beautiful.
it's like cool, like we're giving these kids an opportunity to do something that they don't usually do. But in a bigger sense, like, there's no after school programs around there. The library has been closed for at least 8 years around there.
Wow.
um yeah, so that's a part of like community stuff that we can do. Like, these kids they're not just learning how to ride a horse, they're learning patience and how to follow directions, use tools, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
all community engagement. And that's the thing, like everything that you do is political, everything that you do. So it doesn't matter how small, if you're just volunteering, if you just, you know, telling a friend about some information, like it matters. So
I agree. I agree. I totally
yeah.
agree. Awesome. So, just let the people know where they can follow you. Let them know how they can find you if they want to get involved with what you're doing and all that other good stuff, or what they can look out for as well.
Sure.
What you got coming up?
So I just recently changed my Instagram name. I so it's mx.gray00. Um that's pretty much my threads, my Instagram. Um I can also be reached on our nonprofit's Instagram, Hope for the Youth, Original Concrete Cowboys of Bartram's Garden. We're always looking for volunteers. Um, you can find me on Facebook. I'm on all of the platforms.
Yeah, all right. I
I may
see
not
you.
post much, but and then on Threads, like I really need to get in a real swing, like a real schedule for myself. But I post a lot about local government and how to get involved. I post some resources, information, how to go about different things, and just like civics 101, like how your local and state government works. So those are
Mm.
really important to really like. Stacey Abrams just recently said on her podcast, she said something to the effect of um, like college isn't for everyone, but education is.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that.
like you don't have to like go to college to be educated, but figure out your medium and educate yourself. And it's important to, even when you're educating yourself online, to make sure you're getting the facts you know
I did. I hate to keep extending this because I do want to definitely just touch on that real quick because that was like a big thing about this election where voters were getting their information from. So I just
Mhm.
want you to like just kind of help guide us as to where we can find real, credible, reliable sources for the things that we are searching for.
All right, so first, they don't pay me, but I'll put it out there.
I'm
i
screaming.
i use I use the Ground News app. I love it. And I actually found out about it through FD Signifier and some other creators. Um, it pretty much gives you like a balanced, like it shows you what side of the media it came from, like the news article or something, and it lets you see like all of them, like CNN, Fox News, The Hill, AP, all of those things, and it tells you like, is it left leaning, is it right leaning,
Is it
and
moderate? Yeah.
exactly, you can see like where they intersect, and you can pretty much read the difference of how they report them. So I would say stick to things like that. Now some people don't like to read that much, so I listen a lot to Mark Lamont Hill. I like the way that
Okay.
he delivers news,
Okay.
you know. Um, who else? Roland Martin.
Okay.
Roland Martin, these guys fact checked and check in real time. So
I love that.
yeah, it's a lot of research to be done. Like
Yeah,
you
it is.
know, and you find who you're, you know.
Yeah. I agree, because I don't really like
Yeah.
Roland Martin screaming.
Yo, you know what's funny? I I didn't for a long time. I really didn't, and then I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna watch it anyway. Like I be hating on him, but I be hating on I be hating on Roland Martin, but I really enjoy his shows and I don't like when he like talks over people and stuff, but
He does too much for me. I do enjoy that he's a black, that he's been doing this for a long time as a black
hmm
man in this industry. I respect
yeah.
it, and he does
hmm
what he does very well. But
hmm
I don't like.
I don't like how I don't like how he treat Dr. Umar. And
You know what? I'm gonna go with that because I don't even like Dr. Umar for real.
yo, you know what? You know what it was crazy? I love Dr. Umar,
Do you
but
really?
I do not agree with a lot of what he says. But I love him as
Really?
my brother,
I love
I
that.
don't like
I
his
love that.
stance on the LGBTQ community. I hate that.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
same.
I
So
wish him
maybe
well
I
with
gotta
his
stop
school.
moving. Yeah, I'm screaming. Not that. Is it really happening? Supposedly.
So I believe him. I believe him. I don't think he's taking any money from anywhere. I believe that all of the money and just having the perspective of building things when you're doing it yourself, it takes a long time. You know,
Of
I
course, yeah.
I I have faith in him. I believe him. I hope that
Okay.
everything goes well with the school. Again, I just disagree with him on some things, but I love him. I don't like how Roland Martin treats him, but you know,
And I respect that and I understand that as well because I do too have to get out of that space of not liking black people, like certain saying certain things about certain black people I don't like or
mhm,
whatever, or even if I just don't agree with their views or whatever, it's like I could still love you and still,
mhm,
respect you and stuff like that. So that's
yes,
what I'm trying to do now and be more in the space in because I really don't like
yes,
Roland Martin, but like I said, I respect him
his
and
news is real.
appreciate. Yeah, and it is. But yeah, Umar Johnson is the same for me. Now he is a fine brother, but I just the views they be getting to me, and I just be like, okay,
Yeah, I think that I try to separate him from his him being an entertainer and when he's being serious, because when he's being serious, he be on point. But when he start doing all that Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never, I'm not saying I have
like yeah,
he
word,
could say that, but once he gets into that mode of
yeah,
saying stuff like that, that's when he
yeah, it's a bit
starts.
much. It's
Yeah,
performative, it seems
it
too.
is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. I
Yeah.
want to have you back on here because I really do want to talk about like black leaders. I think that'll be a dope conversation to have.
Mm-hmm.
I especially would love to talk about like the black church
Ooh.
and right now you're not the only person I want to talk to about the black church. I'm probably going to have somebody else up here too, but I
Yeah.
really want to talk about where we lost it and
Mm.
like how the black church was such a huge staple in civil rights. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like in order to get back certain things that we've lost, maybe the black church should, revamp itself. Some, maybe.
I,
It's sweet. It's sweet.
honestly, you know what? And I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. when it comes to the black church and black politics, a generation is going to have to die off first before it can actually change.
Got you. Oh, is that my earring? Do you hear it? Is it just? Oh, good.
Nope.
Cause I'm like, is it just popping up against my? Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I thought I was a problem. But no, I agree. A generation. You think so?
Yeah, like I think like the generation that's like between, I want to say like that's 55 and up, maybe.
I'm screaming, kill them all.
I'm not saying kill them all, but once they're gone, we'll be able to make some changes.
Okay.
Because I think they're like stuck in a certain place.
Okay.
Politically
So like,
and in a black church. So
okay, I can see that. But you still think people that are in their 40s think like, because I feel like people that are in their 40s don't think like us millennials either.
you're right, but also I feel like no, specifically with the black church, I feel like the people in their 40s, they don't have any power in the church yet, because we know in the black church, people tend to hold on to whatever power that they get for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you
facts.
know,
Yeah, that's facts. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. It's been dope, so dope having you on, Saj. I
Thank
hope you
you.
enjoyed it.
I did. I had fun. I appreciate it.
Of
Thank you for
course.
inviting me.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. And thank you so much for informing the people. I think it's so important to be politically involved and just politically knowledgeable out here. You feel
Yeah,
me?
100%.
So,
100%.
yeah, thanks. All right, y'all. This has been another dope ass episode of We Don't Sip Tea, We Drink Wine. I'll see y'all next week. Hey, y'all. Peace.